Hey everybody, welcome back to Jeff Bull Central. Wanted to do a little kind of like a late night mental health discussion video. I want to talk about hearing voices, okay? Which is like the number one symptom, most common symptom of schizophrenia, schizoaffective disorder. Specifically talking about that and psychosis. Schizoaffective disorder is my diagnosis, bipolar type, which basically means I experience hallucinations occasionally, hear voices occasionally, olfactory stimulation, as in I smell things that aren't there, I hear things that aren't there, I see things that aren't there, I think things that aren't true. So that's basically what it is. It's like a kind of a prolonged experiential a sense-based detachment from reality, which is fun, as you can imagine. But anyways, I wanted to tell you what it's like to hear voices. People ask, what's it like hearing voices? What's that all about? Or if they don't ask, they want to know a lot of the time. And the thing about that is that it's like people expect you to say, well, I heard a guy over there just now. Or I hear things around me all the time. You don't hear it with your ears. Most of the time. For most of us, now you can't. There is a thing where you hear voices with your ears. It can be part of this, and that has happened to me. It's much more frequent. It happens in my head. It sounds like one of my thoughts, but it's distinct from one of my thoughts, as in it's an intrusive thought. But it seems like a voice because it has a narrative reach to it. It has a complete A to B to C thought thing, logic to it, even if the logic is crazy, even if it makes no sense at all. It's very distinct from mine. I know what I'm thinking. I know when I've had a thought. I intend to have a thought, more or less. But these things just come. They just come into your head. No explaining it. You hear it. You understand? And so that's what it's like. That's what it's like. And sometimes it kind of just rambles and rambles and rambles. And sometimes it's very curt. Most of the time it's mean for me. So a lot of the time it's just random, unrelated. Sometimes it's menacing. Sometimes not. Sometimes it's silly. Sometimes it's funny. Sometimes it's inappropriate. And it's completely unbidden. So the point of that is that you have an extra layer of stuff that you're always dealing with, that most people have no idea what that's about. And as you can maybe imagine, hearing voices that sound very much like your own thoughts, it's easy to, how do I explain this? When you're in the midst of a psychosis, everything is so skewed anyway. I don't know if you've ever heard of a condition called synesthesia, in which people's senses are intermingled. You smell what you feel, you hear what you taste. This is a thing, synesthesia. And when you're in psychosis, it's kind of like a mental version of that almost. Yeah? So it's like, yeah, I can... in that state, I could have, because I haven't suffered a psychosis in about 8 years, and I've only suffered one in my whole life. The acute part of it was 8 years ago. It was several years, maybe 4 or 5 years of a prolonged kind of like aftershock, before it started to kind of dissipate. And now the voices that I hear, slightly less frequent, slightly less insistent, slightly less rambly. And when they come, I find I have more and more ability to obfuscate, to get distance between, to put barriers between. That is me, that is not me, okay? But the thing is when you're in the midst of psychosis, it's like this. It's like they start communicating with each other, and you're kind of caught in the middle, and then you feel yourself communicating without meaning to. And the voice is part of you, and it's part of him over there, who's ever speaking there, and this person is doing this, so you start talking to this guy over here. It's really crazy. It's really confusing. It's really crazy. And it's really hard to derive any kind of sense out of it. And it ties directly into delusions. Hallucinations are one thing. Hallucinations is they are seeing, you know what a hallucination is, okay? That's not hard to understand. Everybody understands basically what hallucination, but a delusion is a little different. A delusion is a thought process that might actually have complete logical structure if it actually had any kind of bearing on what reality is like. It resembles reality, right? So, for instance, one of the things, I struggle with delusional thinking more than I struggle with hallucinations these days. Much more. I struggle with my mood a lot because I have bipolar type of schizoaffective disorder. I struggle with delusions. I struggle with mood. The hallucinations come secondarily. The hearing of voices as well becomes secondarily to all of that. The main delusion I struggle with is with people. I always think people hate me. I always think people are out to get me, but not in a paranoid way, more like they want to character assassinate, they want to put me down. I suffered bullying a lot when I was a kid because I'm fat, and I always have been, so. But regardless, the point is that it's like when you're sick with a cold and your joints where you're weak, say you have arthritis in your knuckles, right? Because you're a guitar player, that's me. And your hands hurt when you're cold, it attacks your weak spots. So like if I'm paranoid, insecure about my place with other people, that's the jugular, and it's going for the jugular, okay? It's going to tell me that that person over there is feeling this way, and then I should distance myself. It always seems to want me to distance myself. And I have this delusion, one of many, that I can actually psychically pick up on other people. I had a friend who I damaged this friendship very terribly because I thought I was hearing this person at a distance psychically, okay? So even though I know that that's not true, it still comes. And when it comes, my mind first interprets it as truth, part of you, part of your own thinking. And then I have to come in consciously and go, nope, you're not hearing psychically anything, okay? Another one, so being a YouTuber, and I just joined TikTok too, being a social media person, making stuff for you guys here on the internet, you're going to run into people who don't like you for any number of reasons because they stepped on their cat this morning and they're pissed about it still. They don't like you. So it's a challenge for me being with you guys, being on here on this platform. It's tough for me. But I do it because I love to do it. Yeah, and I don't really have much else to do. And it is my passion to be creative and to make stuff, music, writing, art, videos. I like. But that's part of it. So, really, it's kind of like, it's like your day was a level 6 difficult, mine was a level 8, but you didn't see the extra 2 points. Okay? Because I have extra things that I have to deal with. My own mind competing with me. Those are a few examples, okay? I've had romantic delusions about people, which are embarrassing as shit. I don't really want to talk about that. I've had delusions where people who love me dearly, and I love them dearly, very close to me, I thought that they were trying to hurt me, kill me even. I've had delusions about spirituality. I've had delusions about watching a football game on TV where I thought that I could predict the next play, and lo and behold, it would happen occasionally. Shit like that, It's a very strange thing, and I want you to remember, if you don't suffer from it, if you're just kind of passively watching this, the person who's behaving strangely, saying strange things, believing strange things, acting in a way that might seem erratic, that is erratic, acting in a way that might potentially be dangerous, because that is a thing, that's a possibility at all times. It could be dangerous. The thing is that you must remember that this person is a victim of this illness, and that they are not probably, when left to their own devices, going to harm anybody. or dangerous. It's just that with this extra thing, it's kind of unpredictable. So caution is okay, in my opinion. I became dangerous at one point. Caution is okay. A little bit of... Ooh, my light went out. Now it's all blue. That's where I'm going to leave it. Caution's okay. Just treat with a little compassion if you come across someone like me out in the wild. Okay, wild schizophrenics. Oh boy. And so that's what it's like. That's what it's like hearing voices. You hear it more with your head and your mind, with your mind's ear, if that makes sense. And it very much mimics your own thinking, but it's very much separate from your thinking, but it's confusing, but it's not. Okay? It's very much random, but it's also very much personal. It's very much about you, but it's very much not. It's very much feeding you lie after lie after lie in a truthful way. You see? So you add on hallucinations, visual, auditory, olfactory, touch, sense, whatever that is. And then you add on delusional thinking, which I explained a little bit about it. And you add on social dysfunction. And you add on hygiene problems, anything that comes with this. It's a significant hurdle. And I am not over the hurdle, because trust me, I look really together right now mentally. In an hour, I could be upset or thinking things that aren't true, or taking something too far, or getting too angry, or getting to this, because there's also emotional hurdles. So that's it. I'm going to leave it there. That's the mental health discussion for this week. You can drop me a line and let me know what you want to hear in regards to future mental health discussions. If you have some topics you want to talk about, want to talk about your illness, want to talk about someone you know who has an illness, want to talk about, ask questions because you're curious, go for it, dude. Comment section, wide open. Okay? Be well to each other. It's a crazy world. Right now, it's weird. Be well to each other. Be well to yourself. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. All right. Talk to you later, everybody. Jeff Bullis Central. Like, subscribe. Video game videos, mental health discussion videos, music videos. Sayonara.